I've got one of our industry icon leaders in the network marketing field, Mr. Jerry Campese, with us today. I had the honor of him being on the webinar with me today. I'm excited about this. And what Jerry's agreed to do is, you know, in our industry, we get people saying a lot of the same questions over and over again. And, you know, sometimes when you need the credibility of a master that's been in the business for over 30 years, the answers that he can give you really seem to hit home, and you could really feel the passion that this man has inside of him to help people become successful. So Jer, thanks for being on with me. I really appreciate it. So where do you come from, Jer? Where did you come from? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Massachusetts.
Nice.
New England boy, and went to school there, and then about 31 years ago, I moved to South Florida, where I am right now. I live in Boca Raton, only because I was in the financing business, and I helped companies grow from 10 million to 100 million plus. I would do all the legal, all the accounting, and all the financing free. I wouldn't charge any fee up front. I would just get a piece of the increase. So my clients were from all over the world. They didn't like New England in the wintertime. So it was too cold for them. So it was easier to get them to come to Florida. And when I discovered a way to leverage my income, I was the focal point of income generation. And Richie, it's when you are exchanging money for time, no matter how talented you are, you're just not going to get paid what you're worth. And so I wanted to leverage my time. I had a friend who got sick and, had a stroke and hadn't been able to work for years and years and years. And what would happen to you or anyone listening if you lost your health? Where would your family's income be? And that scared me. So I got into a leverage vehicle and was able to make millions in that. And more importantly, mentor 40 people to do the same. And I'm more impressed with that because they all gave back to help others. When you travel the world and help open 34 countries like I have, you feel blessed that you're able to do things and stay. We want you to bring your family with you. This is very important in this company. This is a family business.
You say something really interesting, Jerry. You said, like you had to leverage your time. You learned how to leverage your time. So what would you tell somebody who, and like me, I was in corporate America for a long time, and I was basically living someone else's dream. I worked. I felt like I was there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I was never away from my job. It followed me home. It came home with me. I took it to my son's baseball games, to my daughter's dance recitals. I took it everywhere with me. And I never had the time to ever really enjoy life. But what would you say to somebody being in the position that you're in now? What would you say to that person that's kind of stuck behind the 8-ball and they're saying, wow, there's got to be a better way? How would you say, here's what we can do for you?
Well, there is a better way. And you got to find a company that's going to is on the move. You got to find a company that's growing dynamically. You got to find a company that has all the convergence of trends in their favor. You got to find a company that's a black swan.
The black swan.
You're one of the best trainers in the business, and anyone listening is going to be totally trained one-on-one by you and your wife. You both have tremendous experience in the business. What is a black swan? I know what it is. How do you describe a black swan?
Well, I see the black swan as the swan that's sitting in the big pond. He's away from the whole pack of white swans. And as everything's stirring around and people are trying to figure it out and they're trying to figure out how they could take advantage of this or do that and do this, the black swan just comes in and takes the market share away while no one's looking. So that's my vision of the black swan.
That is. The black swan is usually the leader, and they sit on the sideline and wait till the flock is mature. And that's where the financial term came from. Apple was a black swan. They should have never stole the business away from Sony. Right. Google was a black swan. Should have never stole the business away from, from the other companies that were in the search engine. And Qivana is a black swan. And this company is ready to rock. It took 5.5 years in the other company I was with, which, by the way, did $3 billion last year. I can't pick losers. I have to pick winners, or else I go broke in my financial business. So I can tell everyone listening that if you're not leveraging yourself and you're stressed to the max, you don't have a second in the day, I want you. I'm not going to go after the lazy person. They never have time. I always find the busiest person, they always figure a way to capitalize. That's why the top entrepreneurs get involved in this business. Do you know that most millionaires are paper rich and cash poor? They couldn't come up with $100,000 liquid cash if their life depended on it. I go after them. Don't judge a person. They think they have money. It's just not true. The average person works month to month, and then they change their lifestyle. They get more money. They change their lifestyle subconsciously and eat up all the extra income. Don't think that they're not interested, because they are. Everyone is interested. Anyone that's really making 30 to 200,000 a year is not happy. They're not. They feel they're not getting paid what they're worth. And I say it's because they're not leveraged. And you can live a good life, but you won't really have time freedom. That's what people really shoot for. The people that earn 200 to $1 million, they're usually running their business, and their business runs them instead of them running their business. Their life runs them instead of them running their life. Those people can get us be a connector with us. It takes minutes a week to become a connector, not hours. You connect up the people to us. We do the training support, put them in your group, you get the override. And the people making over $1 million, hey, who's not interested in health, especially the breakthroughs that we have? Right. So we have a market that's interesting, Richie. And I'm telling you, we're sweeping. You're going to see one of the biggest years ever in the history of the company. Anyone listening should get involved now. The train is leaving slowly, but pretty fast. We're going so fast you can't jump on the train.
Now, Jerry, I know you were in another company back in the 80s, through the 80s, and you were basically in retirement. You made your millions with that company, and you retired. What made you decide to come out of retirement and get involved with Qivana?
Because of my financial background, it's true. I never had to work again. I basically had a residual income that was so big, I never had to work again. But basically, what happened was they asked me to come involved and take a look at the compensation. They wanted me to do compensation because of my financial background. And I love to do that as a hobby to help. I knew one of the owners, and I came in and started doing it. And then I realized, hey, you have a CEO who's run the largest drug company in the world, got out of it, and became and ran CEO of the second largest all natural company in the world and tripled their sales. We're talking about owners who all have tremendous experience running big companies. You can't be a big company unless you know how to run one. And so I knew I was looking at a black swan, so I had to choose. And I did something that most people would not do. I sold that business, which would have generated over $1 million a year every year for the rest of my life. Because I come from New England. I like to put my money where my mouth is. I've done it my whole career. If I do believe in something, I go all in. I don't go half in. And I know to most people it's ridiculous. They would never do that. But I wanted to look at every one of you that are listening to this video and say, I gave up $1 million a year to get into this business. Well, there's only two choices for me. I'm a financial idiot, or I must know something. Back then, 6 years ago, that we were going to be where we are today, and now we're getting ready to arise. We had 5 master distributors from another company looking at us this past weekend at the convention. 3 of them are already signed in. We had 5 people making over $30,000 a month, and 80% of our distributors aren't in that league at all. They want to make car payments and house payments. Why would they be looking now and not 3 years ago? Why? Because they can smell the action. And that's what everybody does. And even if you don't have time, you'll figure a way to capitalize.
Well, that's definitely the plan, Jerry. And I want to thank you for taking the time to spend with us tonight on this webinar. I think on closing part of all of this, I came from corporate America. I was basically a corporate monkey as far as I was concerned. I was living someone else's dream. This opportunity was placed in front of me, and I figured it's time to take a chance. And I was 42 years old when I decided to take that chance, and certainly not anywhere close to retirement as you were living in. And the bottom line is, if you don't take that chance in yourself, you just never know. It's better to live with knowing that you've tried to do something than living with regret for the rest of your life. Because what's going to happen when you're 55, 65 years old? The bottom line is you're going to be nailing the coffin down. You're going to be dead, and you're going to have missed your entire life. So, Jerry, thank you. Any closing?
No, I just like to tell people the 3 things that people would like to do if they lived their life over is, number 1, I wish I had risked more. There's no risk in this company. There's a money back guarantee on any product that you get. What's the risk? No risk. The risk is that you'll get healthier and look younger. The second thing they would like to do is learn more. You're going to learn a lot. I just talked to Eddie tonight, our 22-year-old, at 20 years old, he had a new BMW. And he said, Jerry, I have changed. I was really shy, and I'm not afraid to speak in front of people and do anything. And you never have to do that, those who are listening. So you're going to learn a lot about yourself and about business. And number 3 is, I wish I could leave a legacy for my family, my children, my community. You can do all 3 because this business is willable and saleable. Take a good look. This is a real deal, real science, real company, real owners, and real compensation, so you can make money right away. We pay everything weekly. So take a good look. Thanks, Richie.
Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate it.
No problem. Talk soon.
Bye-bye.